Okay, ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Welcome back to Ever Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess. I'm watching Ever Disney Movie Ever. Today we have Aubrey. He's back. And we're going to talk about Soul. Soul is a 2020, I believe, just Disney Plus release. I don't think this had a theatrical moment, but I might be wrong, so sorry in advance. About a musician named Joe Gardner who is not ready to die, and in mentoring a new soul that's supposed to come to Earth, he finds more than just music to live for. It's directed by Docter and Kemp. Cinematography by Matt Aspbury and Ian Megibben. Supervising animators Jude, Brownbill, and Podesta. Editing by Kevin Nolting. Music by Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, and Jon Batiste. And it's written by Docter, Kemp Powers, and Mike Jones. The film stars Jamie Foxx as Joe and Tina Fey as 22. Docter pitched this to John Lasseter in 2016 and then to his co-writer Mike Jones. The original pitch was two souls on the astral plane with personalities, and then they decided one of the things would be a musician, and then they decided on jazz musician, which then led them to being a black man because of jazz's history. And then they brought on Kemp Powers to help out. He got extended, and then he got co-director, making him the first black man to co-direct a Pixar movie, which, why'd it take him this long? Kemp Powers and what they deemed the cultural trust at Pixar were committed to portraying Joe accurately and authentically. They struggled with an ending, so they waited to decide on an ending until test screenings, and then they casted all throughout 2019 and some of 2020. This was the first black-led Pixar movie, so they wanted to make sure they avoided caricature, stereotypes, and tropes, and wanted to make sure they were portraying everything as authentically as they could. They studied lighting, textures, they animated the musical instruments accurately to make sure everything was portrayed exactly how they were played in real life. The souls were meant to be, wispy, non-vaporous, non-physical looking. So they had, the Great Before souls, which didn't really, have any kind of identity or shape. And then the Mentor souls were obviously souls of people that had already lived, so they had a little bit more look and personality of those that came from Earth. And the score, the ambient score when they're in the Great Before and the Great Beyond and all of that, is by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. And then any of the jazz or New York, music was Jon Batiste. The film had a $150 million budget and only made $122.2 million box office, but that's because of COVID, right? And it was simultaneously released on Disney Plus. I watched it on Disney Plus. It has a 95% Rotten Tomatoes consensus. A film as beautiful to contemplate as it is to behold. Soul proves Pixar's power to deliver outstanding all-ages entertainment remains undimmed. It was nominated for Best Sound, Best Animated Feature, and Best Score. It won Feature and Score. Now I want to touch on people of color getting turned into animals and or transformed for their movies in animation. This is a common thing that happens. Not just in Disney movies, but a lot in Disney movies. And so obviously there are the main two, which is the two Disney movies that star black people, Soul and Princess and the Frog. They spend a majority of their movie either transformed into some kind of soul figure or cat, or transformed into a frog. And so they've been given they're the leads, but then they spend half or more of their movie transformed, which is problematic. But then we get into not just black people and people of color being transformed either into, it's mostly animals. Emperor's New Groove, Brother Bear, there's another one. Emperor's New Groove, Brother Bear. I can't think of what the other one was, but I digress. I'm putting a couple articles in my description. I highly encourage you. The first one talks about black people being transformed into animals in animation and kind of people of color as well. The second one is Disney's history overall of doing stuff like this. They're both really good, and I would highly recommend you read them.
Animation, I mean, Pixar movies always look stunning and gorgeous, and I think the whole U seminar and what was it called? The
Hall of Everything?
Not the Hall of Everything, the zone, where it was like when you're in the zone, you're...
Oh.
You know, that whole like ship thing and the sea thing just looked so cool.
Sure. I think everything in any of like the jazz bars or like anything in New York looked stunning. Any of the lighting when he was at home was insanely gorgeous, and then obviously the astral plane and the Great Before and Great Beyond, and all of that looks really good. I loved the clever animation of Jerry and Terry.
Yep.
I thought all of that animation was so clever and well thought out. I also loved the like astral plane zone stuff.
There was
the meditation area.
Yeah, there was one scene when they first get back to Earth and 22's getting like overwhelmed by all the stimuli of New York City, that some of the shots in there I could have sworn were like they just took an actual camera onto New York. Like the way that fire truck looked as it was going past, the way everything was moving and lit, it looked like they just took a camera out into the city. Yeah,
that's pretty common. Pixar, I mean, at this point they're just improving on the most excellent. I mean, Toy Story 4 I've already talked about. It's one of the prettiest movies I've ever seen. Like the lighting, like it's like they got all the animation down and how beautiful they could get the animation, and then they're like, okay, now let's mess with the lighting, because they were always brightly lit. Now they really are getting artistic with the lighting, and that's what really makes it such a beautiful composition and dynamic image.
The music was very good. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are my favorite musicians ever, and this was their first time working with Disney. Fun fact about that, they've said in interviews that when they first sat down to start doing film composition, they made a list of directors that they wanted to work with and they would work with, and Pete Docter was on that list.
Oh wow, love.
So when they got approached to do this or reached out, I don't know who approached who, but whenever somebody reached out to somebody, things happen. And then on top of that, all the jazz stuff that Batiste did is incredible. I mean,
it's Batiste.
Just jazz.
Jazz. You're jazzing.
Yeah, and then even the purposely bad stuff was still fun, like the middle school band when they're playing, and then the Disney logo at the beginning.
Oh yeah, like I love it. I love it.
Great.
The Disney Castle opening, they had it as a middle school band playing it, and you know, like if you've ever been to a middle school band concert, it can be a little clumsy, and they had that, and that was just like what a perfect way to start the movie and set it up.
There was one interesting thing I really noticed this time through watching it, because I've seen this movie before, was how split the score is for a while, where it's all the Jon Batiste jazz stuff in New York, and then the Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, you know, synth-heavy, ethereal kind of sounding ambient stuff whenever they're not on Earth. And then towards the end of the movie, there's a few moments when they cross over, and that's when a lot of the realizations start to happen. And I thought that was a really cool kind of subtle touch to signify a lot of that I hadn't noticed on previous watches.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the movie is very heavily about music, and so the music has to be good, right? Yep. Even the parts that aren't the jazz, right? So obviously the jazz, the Jon Batiste stuff is so strong. It's top of the line. It's so excellent. I mean, if anyone's seen a video of Jon Batiste playing jazz and talking about jazz, the dude knows what he's talking about. He's a savant. He's so incredible. And the jazz is very good. And when Joe gets into the zone, it speaks to you. It's so beautiful. And when he gets to play with Dorothea, it's so excellent. And just the jazz of, like, them running around New York, that is all really chaotic and fun. And then, obviously, the Trenton Atticus stuff in The Great Beyond, The Great Before, all of that, super fun. Very reminiscent of other Disney soundtracks that have that sound. Big Hero 6 comes to mind. I know it's not exactly the same, obviously, or even, like, WALL-E.
Yeah.
Similar vibe. This is obviously a little bit more ambient because it's not specific to, like, actual outer space or San Francisco. This is, like, a place that is non-corporeal or whatever. So I think everything really suited where it was, and I also loved the When It Comes Together.
Yeah.
So good.
And then shout out to David in the credits.
Yeah! Yeah.
That was good.
That was very fun because the rap started. That's probably the first time I've watched credits all the way through. Because for this, I always watch the credits all the way through, and there was an after credit scene with Terry. But when I saw this, when I originally watched it in 2020, I probably didn't watch the credits. I probably was like, okay, the movie's over. And so I never made it to the rap, but this time I made it to the rap, and I was like, is that Daveed Diggs? It was, in fact, Daveed Diggs. We love.
I thought this was very well written. I thought the message was good. It's one of those things that really kind of hit home for me, like story-wise, just the whole concept of, you know, purpose and wasting your life, that kind of sort of thing. I think everybody can relate to that at some point or other in their life. But I think it really hit in a really good way, and I think it did it in a way that can speak to both a kid and an adult, which is like what Pixar is really good at, is taking those really complicated ideas and, you know, whittling them down, but not too much, that even, you know, a kid can pick up on stuff in it. I really liked the concepts, the way that they meshed their high concept with, you know, other concepts that people have had, like the zone. You know, like musicians getting into the zone.
Anyone, it didn't have to just be a musician. You know, the sign flipper.
But specifically, you know, with the main character, Joe, being a musician, getting into the zone, you know, it's a very big thing you hear about in music a lot, specifically. And so I thought it was really cool the way they kind of combined that with this whole great before and great after aspects. Something else I was going to say about the writing.
Sorry. You were talking about purpose and dwindling down?
No, I myself sidetracked myself from my point. The humor was very good. Pretty much all the jokes landed for me.
I love Terry. Terry's my favorite.
Yeah.
And then how all of the Jerrys treat Terry. They're like, okay, Terry. Or like, what about Terry? We worked it out with Terry. Oh my god, what's that?
Yeah.
So good.
Well, and I like that they're not necessarily mean to Terry either.
No, they they appreciate the job Terry does.
They appreciate what Terry does, and, you know, understands that Terry's an important part of the whole machine. But, you know, Terry's Terry. Terry's
ridiculous. When Terry accidentally takes the wrong person.
Oh, that was funny.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, a lot of the jokes land. The pizza
was good.
Yeah.
Both pizza jokes, like the one when they're in the before and they just eat it and they can't taste it and just shoots right out.
Yeah, that's good. That's
good. Yeah.
And just how good pizza is.
Yeah.
Pizza is that good.
Yeah.
What needs pizza? Yeah. When it comes to writing, I would agree. I think the first time I saw this, I got what it was going for, but it, like, this sounds so mean, but it didn't hit me because I was like, well, yeah. Which sounds so mean. because I was not in a place of, like, what's my purpose? And, you know, I was just like, yeah, you live because living's great. You get to do not whatever, but, like, you get to love people, and you get to experience different things, and you get to, if you do have a passion, explore that passion, and this, that, and the other. But obviously, I am a human being who has experienced, like, you know, was film school the right choice? Am I that passionate about that kind of thing? Like, what am I doing? Why do we have to pick this? I don't know what my one true passion is. I don't think I have a one true passion. So I've definitely, like, experienced those thoughts. And seeing it a second time, it's definitely easier to digest and understand, like, the full scope of their message. Because I did get emotional the first time I watched it, and then obviously this time too. I always get emotional at the part where, like, the helicopter leaf comes down, and 22, like, is realizing you don't have to have, like, a purpose. It's the way you get ready to be on Earth is that you want to live, and that is so beautiful and a great message. And I think the writing is super wonderful. Like, what a unique way to send that message.
Yeah.
To show this whole mentor program, and, you know, showing a person who is convinced that music is their purpose and this is what they are meant to do, and have someone who feels purposeless.
Yeah.
And then to spin both on their head and say you don't need a purpose to live, and your purpose to live is not music, you just love music.
Yeah.
I think that's really great.
Yeah, the confusion between the spark being
the reason you're living.
The spark, you know, not being a purpose versus just being
the thing that made you want to live.
An exciting, yeah, exactly.
The last thing that made you want to live.
I like that they made Joe confuse those two things, because if I was in that situation, I would 1,000%.
Yeah.
You know, confuse those
and
two.
The way Jerry is like, oh, humans, you would make it like that. Yeah. Like, no.
Yeah.
22 gets to live because they want to.
Yep.
Like, amazing.
The other thing that I was going to say was, I love that 22 is this one that's been there for so long, so they had all those opportunities to show the previous mentors from throughout history, and having those random historical figures in there with their little quips and stuff. I thought that was a really good way to kind of show that even, you know, people that you see as these, you know, infallible figures, you know, Abraham Lincoln confusing spark for purpose as well. You know, showing that it's not just, you know, middle school band teachers confusing it, it's everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I just also thought the idea of the mentorship was so interesting.
Yeah.
And then don't get me started on the personality traits with the, like, you're all gonna be so self-absorbed, you're all gonna be insecure. It's like, yikes! Oh my gosh.
That was good.
Yeah, it was funny. And then we gotta stop sending so many to that.
Yeah.
That was good too. But very well written. Probably my favorite joke in the movie is the government calls it 6:30.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. Also, Graham Norton, so random, and loved it. Moonwind is one of the best characters too. Him and Terry are up there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a beautiful story. I also really love the moment Joe 22 and his mom get to have. I think that's a really strong moment.
And then all of the realizations throughout
that Joe has talking to people, like the barber, the little girl,
the drummer in Dorothea's band.
Yeah. Those were all really great moments where Joe got to see, like, there's more to my relationships with these people than just Jess.
Yeah.
You know?
And that he has already had an impact on the world, even though he hasn't had his big break.
Right. That's It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. I think all the actors crushed it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, nobody stood out as, like, hey, this person is really out of place or giving a bad
No, I think the standout for me is Graham Norton being so good. Because he's a talk show host.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how good he was in that silly little role.
Yeah, he did a real good job with that one. The other ones were, again, the barber and the drummer. I looked it up last night, but I forgot the actors' names for those two roles specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But just the emotion that they were able to convey in, you know, each character only had a few minutes of screen time, but gave such a good dynamic emotional performance, I think, with those parts.
Yeah.
And then
Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey.
Yeah, Tina Fey, I told her this when we were watching it. You know, I know it's Tina Fey, but that, you know, 2 minutes into the movie, I just forget that it's Tina Fey. Which is funny to me, because it's not like she's really doing, like, a crazy voice or anything, but...
It's just Tina Fey.
Yeah, and then...
Much like Joy is just Amy Poehler.
Yeah, and then it's a very similar thing for me, where the writing, combined with them just doing their voices, just kind of gets lost to me.
Sure. Favorite part?
The music.
Sure.
The music, specifically story-wise. Joe's realization when he's sitting at the piano and he takes his songbook down and puts the little collection of stuff up on there. Makes me teary-eyed every time.
My favorite part's Terry.
Sure.
I just love Terry, and then, like, the end. You know, it's a very happy ending.
Yeah.
Least favorite part?
I don't know that I really have a least
That's
favorite
fine.
part.
Okay.
Yeah.
My least favorite part is probably the, like, the black character gets transformed for a majority of their movie problem that a lot of, like, Disney movies do to people of color in their film. Because it feels a little bit like it's tainted then to me. But overall, it's still so good. But that's probably, like, because I can't help but think about that. It's probably my least favorite part. Would you recommend it?
Yes.
Would you watch it again?
Absolutely.
Same and same. Anything else?
No, I think we just about covered it.
What would you rate it?
I would give it 10.
What should we do? Pianos?
We could do pianos.
Pizza crusts?
What about, like...
Lollies?
What about 10 Earth passes?
Oh, cute. Okay. Sure. Mine's 8. 8 Earth passes out of 10. Our total movie count is... Current Death and Crack Count are still the same. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching, follow me on all socials and check out my website.
It's
cool. He helped me build it.
Somewhat.
Not somewhat. 100%. Could not have built it the way it is without your help. What else? Join Patreon. Got a tier starting at just $1. You get every video a week early. Tiers above that, daily trivia, monthly postcards, bonus content, etc. Buy merch. Merch is great. Merch is grand. Until next time, comment, subscribe, but not charge if you like viewers for you, and don't be...
I wasn't really a villain.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Because you don't want to call Terry the villain. Terry's just trying to do their job.
Don't be an existential crisis.
Fair enough. All done.
All right.